What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Forged for Greatness. I'm your host, Chris LaForgia. This podcast is for the builders, the creators, and the underdogs who are forging their own path. Today, I have on Eugene. What's your last name, by the way?
Kelly.
Kelly, that's right. Eugene Kelly,
Yes, sir.
the starter of Project Vet. We're going to get into that. So it's raising awareness of homeless veterans,
Yeah.
veteran suicide.
Yeah, suicide and, PTSD, just mental illness in general.
Talk to me about why you started this entire project, this entire journey.
Yeah, look, I always wanted to get into content. I was fortunate enough to be on the Nelk Boys little golf channel. So I saw how they did it and I was like, dude, this is so cool. Like I want to do it for like with my friends. So the content side, I love creating content. And then the other side is I just love this country. And I'm so thankful for I have a bloodline that dates back to Normandy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just mixing the two together, I thought it would be a great combination. And it's a good message to send to everybody.
So for 48 hours, you slept outside
Yeah.
in the winter elements.
Yeah. Snowstorm.
Talk to me about that entire experience.
Yeah. So the day before was Christmas. And we had this day planned for so long. And, before I even lived homeless, I was, gearing up to it. I couldn't even enjoy Christmas. Like I was so worried that, you get one shot at this. I'm not going back out there for another 48 hours to freeze and, suffer. But leading up to it was very tough, making sure you had everything in line, ready to go. I'm not like really good with technology either. So it didn't help. But then, going into it, first night, just like you get thrown into the fire. And it was so cold and so miserable where it's like the nights were so long. You'd wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh my God. It was like I have so long to go before the sun even rises, before my partners could even like get engaged with it or not. So like you just gotta find ways to stay warm, find ways to keep going, and to keep the camera on you too is another very hard thing because you're suffering. You're trying to manage both, and it's just the hardest thing I've ever done. And then yeah, you get up to the mornings and the days, and you're like walking, trying to keep busy, keep going. It was so hard and freezing cold, and especially coming from a warm Christmas Eve.
Yeah. What helped you, I guess, forge ahead through that entire process? What helped you
Yeah.
not quit?
Yeah, like, I said in the documentary, the video we made, look, I can't complain about 48 hours when a guy's doing it for 48 months, 48 weeks. Uh, you do it for a good cause. If I quit on them, they didn't quit on me, so why should I quit on them?
Mm-hmm.
And you think about that and you really do, you hone in on like, you got to have a purpose to make it to the next day or even make it to 2 hours later. So knowing they didn't quit on me, there's no way in heck I was going to quit on them.
Mm-hmm. So I usually bring on entrepreneurs, business owners. So this is a little curveball,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you are creating something,
Yeah.
Project Vet, and with any creation, whether it's a business, whether it's a project, whether it's a nonprofit, there
Yeah.
comes wins and losses. So throughout this process, what would you say some of your wins were, and what would you say some of your losses were?
I would say the wins are, I had to show to my partners that I was serious about this. So the win was definitely the 48 hour. The biggest win was doing the video with you, doing the 48 hours living homeless and, talking to them and creating an image. I think that was the biggest win. I think a few other wins are like you learn a lot of things of, I'm doing with my best friends I grew up with, so I think the loss that was a huge win. Doing it with people you care about, I have an obligation to also not let them down.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing very well right now. And I want to make them proud and make my family proud. So that's a huge win. My friends out there watching this. I would say the biggest loss is, dude, we're on year 2. We're going in year 2. We've been talking about this, getting things up and running. And I think every time any business owner, any entrepreneur, anyone trying to start something, when you start, you're like, oh, this is going to work in like 6 weeks from now. I'm going to be loaded. I'm going to be successful,
Mm.
and loaded more of the business side for you guys. But I thought this was going to be. We didn't think it was going to be a nonprofit at first. We thought that we were just going to create a YouTube channel,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we got more into it. And we bought in. The more we bought in, we're like, look, let's do it for a very good cause. And we started out with just creating content, stupid content, and now I'm focusing it towards veterans. And we all share one thing, and it's the love for this country.
Mm.
So I think the huge loss was the time we threw away. Um, but it's leading us to here, and everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer in it. So God's journey,
So, if you can go back to childhood, was there like a precursor to this? Meaning, as a child, you know, were you always patriotic? Were you always America first?
yeah. So I was in, what was it, kindergarten or first grade? I was in first grade when the towers hit. 9/11 happened, and you know, y- you're born into that. You're born into understanding that, as great of a country this is, things can happen. But what a time to be alive, man. What a time to be a kid, because you just saw this entire country, everybody in this country love, appreciate the national anthem, love everything that this country has to offer, and everyone just became so thankful. I remember growing up, you go to a Yankee game, man, you couldn't wear a hat during the national anthem without someone yelling at you. Now it's like, you got your people that are coming on, and they want to make their statement, rightfully so. You got the First Amendment for a reason, but I think 9/11 had a lot to do with how I love this country, but also parenting. I got to thank my parents. They and my uncles, my sisters, my cousins, everyone. I am second generation Irish, third generation Italian. We were raised to love this country and to appreciate those who fight for it. My sisters and I. So parenting had a huge part in all of this, and also growing up in the environment of 9/11.
Mm. So, what would you say is the biggest lesson you've cultivated from the 48-hour process of living on the streets?
Yeah, just to be even more thankful than it's easy to complain about a bad day. It's very easy for everyone to be like, I'm pissed off at something. I'm aggravated at something. One of my friends upset me. Be thankful that you're upset. Be thankful you're aggravated, because at the end of the night, you're putting your head on a pillow and you're going to bed and knowing that you live in a great country and it's paid for. It's not free. It's paid for our blood, sweat, and tears of our veterans, those who are falling, veterans' families, and widows, of course, that suffer from the same tragedy as other people do. But yeah, I would say be very thankful for those bad days.
Love it. And you've had some conversations with some veterans, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did those conversations influence this entire project, this entire process?
Yeah, you see it. I kind of talk about it when even just, those veterans that I meet, um, the stories in their eyes, the things they don't tell you, but what their eyes tell you, what their body language tells you. They're so thankful that you got guys. I'm just a kid from New Jersey. In the end of the day, I'm a nobody, but you got a nobody from New Jersey that's willing to put his face on camera and talk about it. I mean, they are so thankful and so appreciative of it, because they don't do things for thank you. They do not serve for a thank you. They do not serve to get rich. They serve for no benefit of their own, but for the benefit of others. And that creates a drive, man, like you've never seen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so hungry to keep going now.
What's the end goal with this whole project?
Yeah, I want this nonprofit, when it's up, and hopefully by the end of these videos and this documentary, it'll be up and running. But to be the light, the beacon of light, to help for those who are suffering, whether it's financially or mentally, um, to do just so much good, man. I want thousands. There's thousands of veterans who live on our streets. There's 17 veterans who kill themselves every single day. I want that 17 to go to 0. I want it with the help of Project Vet, and I want, the guys to get off the streets with the help of Project Vet, and other charities as well. But I want the main goal is to be help in the solution and help in solving what I believe is the greatest problem in this country. It's our
Mhm.
heroes suffering.
What does success look like to you in terms of this project?
Yeah, so it's not, you'd think it's more of a long-term success, but I think success of this project is broken down by every time I hop on a call with my partners, every time I do an interview, every time I'm doing something that it's successful. I want success to come from every single day. I don't want it to be success as the end, like the end goal. And what I mean by that is everything we do, I want it to have a purpose, and I want that purpose to be successful. Whatever we're doing, whether it's interviewing, I want that interview to be successful. I want everything to be the formula to the ultimate success of, like I said, just killing the 17 down to 0. I should say killing going 17 down to 0. And helping a lot of people. And I wanted to make it cool on the internet on how we do it. I wanted to be like, everyone's like, yo, go watch this video. They just helped a veteran, pay off his mortgage.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's cool, man. That's the stuff I want to do.
Love it.
Whether it's me or anybody else, I want anyone to do it.
Love it.
Yeah.
This episode is a fast track episode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to give you the Forge 5 questions,
All
the
right.
5 questions that I ask every guest. They're more personal.
Yeah.
They're less about the project, more personal to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But first question is, what's a habit that you attribute most of your growth to, whether it comes to this project or just life in general?
Yeah, a habit, dude, I hate to lose. Like I'm a competitive person and it's a habit to win. And I lose way more than I win. Um, so I guess a habit's losing. I guess you need to make a joke of it. Um, but dude, failure is just not an option. It'll never be an option. It's not in my vocabulary. I don't
Mhm.
believe in it. I believe you can quit in something. I don't think you can fail in anything you put your mind to. So a habit is just winning and being competitive. And whatever I do, I want to win in doing it.
Love it. What's a failure that you're most grateful for, whether it's again related to this project or in general?
Yeah, I think a failure is my 20s. My failure is my 20s. And dude, I think I did 7 years of college. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I was not greatest individual. I didn't represent the last name on my back, which is Kelly. I wasn't honoring, the bloodlines that came before me. I was kind of, just put in a survival mode, like, make money, whatever way you do it,
Mm,
and get through, get to the finish line. So I think the 20s helped me mature and show, when everyone turns 30, everyone's like, oh, I'm in my 30s. Dude, I could not wait to hit 30. Like I felt like it was a new chapter,
yeah.
because of the failures and the people you're
The
letting down in your
mistakes.
20s, the mistakes and how much of a jerk you made yourself look. Um, yeah, man, I wish I could put that all in a basement, lock it up and throw it somewhere, but you can't. So, my failures are my 20s, I would say.
Got it. What is one truth you wish you learned sooner?
One truth I wish I learned sooner, that patience. Patience is a virtue. Patience is the key to success. You're not I wish I understood when you're starting anything early that it's going to be a home run. Relax, don't get frustrated, don't get upset,
Mhm.
that good things come to those who wait.
Yeah.
Um and ask as you shall, and you shall receive, the good Lord says. So it's just be patient. I wish I learned patience a lot sooner. And
And
I'm sure
enjoy
a
the
lot
process
and
too.
enjoy the process,
Yeah.
enjoy the failures, enjoy anything enjoy, oh, that, how did that not work? Or we weren't ready for that, or that camera died on us. Like, just laugh at it.
Yeah.
Just laugh at something's not going your way.
So you talked about the 48-hour process off camera, how it was very tough mentally. Did
Yeah.
you get any enjoyment though out of it? Because
As I
we
was
just
doing
we
it.
just talked about enjoying the process, right?
Yeah. And again,
Did you enjoy that process at all, or was it torture the entire time?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't enjoy one bit of it. I did not. I no, actually, I lied. I lied. I did enjoy it when we gave $500 away. I enjoyed that moment
Mm,
when when I was living on day two. Um, I got a lot of joy out of taking the ski mask off, taking the glasses off, and telling people, "Yo, this is just a skit." Here, and we gave him gift cards to Dunkin'.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but I enjoyed that because they were like, "Wow, like you know, I got captured doing something really good,
Mhm.
for a good cause." So I lied. I enjoyed those moments. I did not enjoy one bit of suffering though. I'll tell you that. Looking back, I enjoy it. I mean, I never really get proud of myself. I never give myself credit for anything
Mm,
on like mentally. I may talk about something, but I don't give myself enough credit. I give a lot of credit to my partners for helping me get through this.
yeah.
Because if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I could have done it. I don't know if this could have been successful, but I'll give credit to, and I got a lot of joy out of being able to go grab a cold beer and some French onion soup with my best friends and be like, guys, we did it. Like we did something that no one's really willing to do or wants to do.
Love it. When things get crazy in life, chaotic, stressful, what do you do personally to stay grounded?
Yeah, take a deep breath. Look, I talked about my 20s, and when things don't go well, and you lose some money, you laugh like, haha, I'm not as bad as I was. You know, Um, and I kind of just I take a deep breath in it. I think my temper's gone down a little bit. I had a little bit of a temper in my 20s, I'd say. But understand, mistakes are going to happen, bad things are going to happen. To laugh at the failures, to
Yeah.
laugh at, to help me stay grounded is just understand like things can be worse.
How many deep breaths did you take out in the wilderness?
A lot, a lot of deep breaths, man. I was getting so aggravated. I remember when we were trying to shoot the videos, because you're doing something with your best friends. You're fighting, you're
Yeah.
arguing, and you're not in a mood to like be like, oh, it's okay. Like let me, so I'd be like, if I'm trying to like say something or do something, or I want something done a certain way, it's not done. It's like I gotta take a deep breath here, but I gotta take a deep breath and someone being like, oh, it didn't look that bad. Like, what did you just say? Like, how did it not look bad? I'm dying out here. My
Oh
hands
my
are
God.
purple. I'm shaking.
Frostbite.
Frostbite. My feet are numb. Like, what did you just? So, a lot of deep breaths, man. I took a lot of them throughout the time.
So, last question. What does forged for greatness mean to you?
Yeah, Forge for Greatness means all the failures, I believe, are uh, part of a recipe and a formula to being great. You have to really understand that every L you take is for a reason. I don't believe in the word manifestation. I believe in God's plan. Like I'm a big believer in that. I think everything makes you a tougher individual. Every loss you have, every L you take, it makes you a tougher person and forges you to be the best version of you. I believe there's a lot of greatness to come from me and Project Vet, but me personally, but I think I can't get to there without my 20s. The things I hate,
Mhm.
the things I'm most regretful for, I can't do it without those L's. And I think forging yourself to greatness is, learning from the L's you take.
Love it.
Yeah.
So, where can people find you? Project Vet.
Yeah. So right now it's Project Vet, YouTube, Project Vet, Instagram. Nonprofit will be going up probably after this little podcast gets
Yep.
released. So in due time, that's why we're kind of going a little slow with everything right now. But Project Vet Instagram, go give us a follow. When these video comes out, share it with someone and tell me what you think. I'm trying to be as responsive to everybody as possible, but we're slow, we're growing, we're small right now, but we're gonna be big soon.
Love it. What's next for you on both a project level and on a personal level as well?
Yeah, so I want to create this content to be like the greatest thing YouTube has ever seen. I want to be paying off, veterans mortgages. I want to grow the Instagram channel, the YouTube channel so big where people want to donate, and then veterans want to create, like, yeah, I'll create a line like veterans are looking for a donation to eliminate electrical bill, or they may be a few months behind on mortgage. I want them to be able to apply for a donation. You call it a loan, but they're not paying. We're not taking them back, so it wouldn't be a loan. A donation, yeah, definitely don't get the loan in there. It would be a donation, but I want people to apply for a donation, and we approve it, and then be like, hey, this is the $7,000 you requested. Now go pay off that mortgage. Go pay, or $10,000, $60,000, whatever the amount is. I want us to grow so big that we are able and capable of doing that.
Awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Guys, go check out Project Vet on Instagram, on YouTube. Once again, greatness isn't given, it is forged. I'll see you guys on the next episode.